This is Mutation 92. This is these are my main player characters for my Western. This was created as a D&D style a game to play with my friends. And so I've built all of these characters. These are what are these? These are like at the very base version 3 of the designs of these characters. I've designed some of these characters more than that. Demos is my character. This is who I played as. And Demos, I've made him like 6 or 7 times at this point to get to this point. And he's not even done. But that's neither here nor there. Each of these characters I will be doing their own videos on to talk about their story and the parts usage, the design process, and all of their accessories. Deimos is going to be the longest one. He's got the longest story, and he has the most accessories and the most parts, the most heads. I've got a whole box of stuff that I've collected just for him. But I figured this could be an introduction to showing off all of those characters. I've talked in other videos about how, I'd like to show off each of my individually, self-created characters, the ones that I've designed myself, and give them all their own videos. And depending on the length of each video, they'll be, shorts or videos. I'm going to film them all the same. It won't matter. Other than the fact that shorts I can put up on YouTube and Instagram, videos just YouTube. So each of these player characters are probably going to be full videos, and then some of the more minor characters, not too minor. I'm not making every single villager into a figure, only characters that are important enough to get a figure. I don't have the time or the money to do every single possible character. I have drawings, I have sketches, I have all of the characters designed, but at the end of the day, that's just, I don't know that I want to sink my time into it that much. So, guess I'll just... Let's read the synopsis here. Set in 1870, post the American Civil War, as the country mourns its losses, picks up a shattered remains of the country. A grueling 14-year war, this Civil War started a decade before ours. It was drawn out by the use of limited magic and larger, stronger soldiers in the ranks on both sides. Though magic does exist, it is slowly disappearing from the world, and creatures of pure magic are slowly becoming mere myth. That doesn't mean there aren't still those that seek it. Founded in 1770 and currently in the Utah Territory, the Township of Paradise exists in what was the periphery of society, a society that has quickly enveloped them since its founding. Originally a pioneer village and without overhead, the people here had no one to rely on but themselves. They're distrustful of outsiders and close themselves off metaphorically and physically, surrounding their town center with barricades to ward off threats. They reject anything that isn't theirs by blood and guard their secrets with their all. The oldest buildings are worn, dating back to their founding and using full logs in the construction. But the recent introduction of a railroad next to the town has brought in the classic plank boxes that became a staple of the American West. Because of the necessity of a railroad through this area, America offered to build new buildings and fill gaps in their town, including a station, saloon, and inn, and of course a loading building for grain and foodstuffs from the village. The town took their offerings, but doesn't have any intention of actually doing anything, seeing this as a beneficial one-sided dealing. The railroad was well timed, as in the last few decades the farmland around Paradise has slowly withered. With the cause of their food shortages unknown, the town has grown restless and is falling on old superstitions, with the Indians in the forest to the east being a target of scorn and blame. The railway also brought with it its own problems, mostly nosy individuals, an increased militia presence, and of course the bandits. With crime skyrocketing around the core of the town, though rarely attacking inside, they have choked out many of the outlying farms and families. It is here in this valley, with these secretive and prideful villagers, in a dying town where we open. Can Paradise be saved? Will the characters only serve to postpone Paradise consuming itself, or is it inevitable that Paradise burns? Yeah, so I've been really excited for this project for a number of years. I've been working on this. Let's see. We attempted to play the first round for about 2 years, and I had started building it with a friend of mine about 2 years before that. So characters like Demos here are getting up to, he's almost 5-year-old character at this point. But I'm really interested in getting these characters a little bit more attention, showing off the designs. I'm not looking for this to go anywhere. I don't want anyone, thinking that I'm going to do some sort of Kickstarter for a book or something. That's not going to happen. Especially not with this. I mean, I have projects that are like 15 years old. So this is more an introduction to the fact that at the end of the day, I see myself as a character designer and I want to show off my designs. Everybody gets excited over like Spider-Man and Iron Man because they know the characters. They know their stories. They have an emotional connection with them. But I love my characters. I have an emotional connection with my characters. I'd like other people to know my characters. So that would be the whole point of this. But I'll be back at some point with individual videos for these characters, and I'll start bringing in, some of the other ones from my shelf and start talking about them too. But I'll see you later. Until then.